Hello, it is my privilege to have been asked today to tell this story, originally told by a girl called Nour from Gaza. The story is called A City Under Attack. Once upon a time, the citizens of a walled city were under attack. The enemy had closed in and surrounded the whole city, so the people could not escape, and neither food nor supplies could get in. The siege had gone on for a very long time, and the people were close to starvation. They were at their wits' end. Should they surrender, or keep what little pride they had left and simply die of hunger? Well, the weary and desperate lord of the city and his councillors decided it would be best just to wave the white flag and hope that the enemy would take some pity on them. So the next day the Lord and all the citizens gathered at the gates, ready to offer their surrender. Just as they were about to lower the drawbridge of the city, an old woman pushed through the crowd, urging them to stop, stop. She shouted so all could hear her, "I know how to save this city." The Lord looked at her and said, "Come here, old woman, and tell me how this can be done." She said, "All that is required is a cow." "A cow?" the crowd laughed. "All our cows have been eaten or have died of hunger, and you want a cow?" Well, the old woman said, "I'm sure there must be a cow hidden here somewhere. People can be, so secretive when hard times come upon us. If you find me a cow, I will save the city." Well, the doubtful people set about searching, and finally, in a basement of one of the houses, a soft mooing could be heard. The cow had been hidden by a selfish family who'd been keeping the milk for themselves. After a few blows were exchanged, the people took the cow away and brought it to the woman, who was now standing next to the lord of the city. "Now I need one more thing to save the city," she said. "Oh, and what is that, pray tell?" said the lord. "I need enough grain to fill these 2 small sacks." "You are a crazy old woman," an angry man said. "We don't have enough grain to fill 2 sacks. The old woman said calmly, "If everyone contributes what they have, we will soon fill these 2 small sacks. I will begin with my own sacrifice of my last grains," she said calmly. Well, the people were torn, and rumbles and mumbles ran through the assembled crowd by the gates. But the old woman looked so sure of herself. And yet the people didn't want to give up their last food. So the old woman said to them, "Look, this is a sacrifice we should all do to save our city." Eventually, each family put a handful or 2 of their own grains into the sacks, and finally the sacks were indeed full. So then the old woman took the sacks of grain to the cow, and she emptied them onto the ground, where it instantly started munching and crunching all the grain until it was all gone. Now the crowd turned into an angry mob. "We are starving, and you feed this cow 2 sacks of grain. What?" They began to move towards the old woman, but the Lord raised his hand and said, "Stop this nonsense right now. We have nothing to lose by following this old woman. Don't you forget that earlier this morning we were about to surrender and perhaps be killed by the enemy outside these walls. This could be our last chance for survival. We will give her idea a chance. Now, the lot of you, disperse and get to your homes, and do not come out until the morning." Once the cow had polished off all the grain, the old woman asked the soldiers to lower the drawbridge and open the gates. She pushed the cow out of the city. The cow was immediately spotted by an enemy soldier who took the cow to the general. The general said to himself, I thought we had starved the city, and they are giving us a cow. He laughed and said, they think that one miserable cow can buy our mercy. Ha! However, it will make a tasty dinner for us all. Well, that evening, yes, they had a tasty dinner in the camp, but later that night, as the meal was being served, a trembling kitchen hand was brought before the general. Sir, when I was cutting the cow, I found undigested grain in its stomach, and by my estimate, the amount of grain could fill 2 small sacks at least. The general went pale. He thought to himself, I thought we had starved this whole city, and yet they had enough food to feed this cow 2 sacks of grain. He turned to his officers and said, what on earth should I do? We ourselves have run out of supplies, and fresh supplies, I know, aren't due for at least a week. I thought this siege would have been won by now. Well, a new day dawned, and the lord of the city and all the citizens looked out from the battlements on the walls, and were absolutely stunned to see nothing. The enemy soldiers had broken camp and slunk away in the dark of night, retreating back home. The cow, the grain, and the old woman had saved the city. The moral of this tale? I think it is this. With a little applied wisdom, together with effort and sacrifice, you can overcome seemingly impossible odds. Thank you for listening.